called the Arcane. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. But anyway, some of you may have played this. I'm trying it out for the first time today on a friend's recommendation. Alright, here we go. Yes, perhaps you need me. I require very little of you. Come to the palace and be my guest for a short while. You will be afforded every luxury, of course. I ask only that you bring your skill in your Arcana. She must be talking about as hysteric. I will alert the guards to expect you tomorrow. But before that, I want to see these talents of yours for myself. Shall we do a reading? Under her imperious gaze, I usher her to the humble back room. The Countess seats herself across from me. Her gaze darts around the small space before falling on the cards on the table between us. As I shuffle the deck, she folds her hands before her and closes her eyes. Out the cards, studying his face. How very appropriate, and what does the magician hold for me? My mind is clear. The answer comes to me as easily as ever. You have a plan, one that's important to you, and should I set it in motion? Her eyes pierce me, flashing brilliantly in the lamplight. Yes, now is the time to act. Everything has fallen into place. Say no more. Abruptly, she stands, giving the card one last glance. She throws back the curtains, striding back into the shop proper. Your fortunes are straightforward, much the same as the others I heard, and yet you are the first to pique my interest. Thank you. The Countess crosses to the front door, winding the shawl around her face. Trip over my feet in my haste to open the door. That sounds like something to do. The Countess merely looks amused. I will see you tomorrow then at the palace. Pleasant dreams. With that, she glides past me and out into the night. For a moment, I'm frozen, staring after her figure long after it has vanished into the mist. What could the Countess of Vesuvio want with me, a mere apprentice? All that talk of my reputation, could it be that she mistook me for Azra? I'm still mulling it over when I hear a harsh, muffled voice. Strange hours for a shop to keep. Who said that? My gaze darts around the shop, chasing shadows in the dark. Behind you. Sure enough, when I turn, I see a figure looming against the door. So this is the witch's lair. Okay, run for your life. Then who might you be? Wait 1 second. Heart starts racing as the masked intruder advances. Run! Don't just stand there. Okay. Escape! My eyes dart to the door, assessing my chances. Up, not so fast. The masked intruder catches my wrist in a firm grip and pulls me backward. Well, I made the worst freaking choice then. My back meets their chests. The masked beak curves ominously over my head. Oh, Lord. The intruder's voice drops to a low, affected snarl. Tell me where he is and I'll let you go. I throw my head back, knocking the mask away. Throw my head... Okay, that... So the mask is hanging over your head, but yet when you throw it back, you're able to knock it off. I guess that works. Ah! Ooh, eye patch. I make a break for the back room, the intruder hot on my heels. The hot intruder. But I'm barely across the threshold when he catches up to me. You're a slippery one, oh Lord. As he moves between me and the back door, I take in his features for the first time. I know his face. I've seen it on wanted posters all over the city. Oh boy. But his name eludes me. Quickly now, where is the witch? What? Oh boy. I glare up at his I glare up at him as I try to catch my breath. Master Azra is gone. Obviously. Where to? I shake my head. Why is he so interested in Azra? He's gone on another journey. He didn't tell me where. Wait 1 second. He's gone on another journey. He didn't tell me where. I see. Well, if you don't know, and I don't know, guess he's gone forever. Why don't we ask your magic cards? Man, everyone... Wait, this is where you do your fortune telling, isn't it? He drops himself into the reading chair, looming over the table. Go on. No need to be shy. I don't know your name. My name? For your reading, I need to know your name. Oh, right. Yes, of course. Why is he blushing? Does he not like his name, I guess? You can call me Julian. I blush over Julian, you see. Hesitantly, I take my seat, his eyes tracking my every starts racing. Death. Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. I chose the wrong card. The card whispers to me, but before I can understand it, Julian interrupts. Death? Death? Okay. He barks with uncontrollable laughter. He turns away from me and the cards, raising his eyes to the heavens. Death casts her gaze on this wretch and turned away. She has no interest in an abomination like me. He strides out of the back room without a backwards glance. Overcome with confusion, I follow at his heels. Wait, that's not what death means. It's... But Julian heaves a heartfelt sigh, shaking his head. No, let me finish. What does it mean? No, my fate is sealed. Okay, why did you even want to... But you've been hospitable, so I'll let you in on a secret. Your witch friend will be back for you. He's taught you his tricks. You may even say that he cares for you. Okay. He lifts his mask from the floor, staring into his glassy red eyes. But when he returns... what? Seek me out for your own sake. Don't let him fool you, shopkeep. Oh man, what does that mean? That's ominous. After giving me a long, hard look, he fixes his mask in place. The hour is late and I'm out of time. With the swirl of his great black cape, he throws the door open. Well, dramatic, are we? Dark clouds bear down all around the landscape, a shifting sea of rust-colored sand. Ahead is the road of perfect black stone. Far enough from home, I think. Far enough? From what? For answers, for clarity, and I need them soon. A storm is coming. He looks out into the distance, his voice dimming into a wistful whisper. I strain to see where the path leads, but it keeps changing. Soon, there will be a crossroads. How soon? Where do they lead? Depends on which one you take. His hands reach for mine, but he stops just short. I guess here's where we do the crossroads of picking which love interest. The sand rise all around us on a chilly wind, blotting out the sky. For now, bejeweled, rest. I fall into a dreamless slumber. Okay, I guess. Don't know. When I wake, dawn light is filtering through the dusty windows. I spend the early hours preparing my things, casting wild shadows on the walls. I am to meet the Countess at the palace for some unknown purpose. I throw on a traveling cloak and hurry outside, dragging the heavy door shut behind me. After last night's intrusion, I turn the first lock, and then the second, and good grief, that's a lot of locks. Are you, scared much here? Almost satisfied, I press my right hand to the door and whisper across me, not spell. Good Lord, you are paranoid. Like, Jesus. While worlds move deep within the door, slowly fading into the grave. I'm about to leave when the hair on the nape of my neck rises in alarm. Oh, something else is bothering you now? Good grief. Someone is right beside me, a dark shape looming in the alley. Okay, you should just lock yourself inside. Oh boy. The form is certainly human, though enormous in size. Enormous is right, good grief. Their flesh is scoured with scars, clean and jagged, shallow and deep. Shrouded in a pall of weather-beaten furs, it's hard to make out a face. I can see a face right here, it's not that hard. But they are definitely watching me. They stand between me and the road to the palace. I'm not almost talked to him. I take a step forward, watching the figure cautiously. Stormy green eyes follow my movements as I enter the alley, but the stranger makes no move. Oh, thank God. A voice like distant thunder rumbles from beneath their robes. You are in grave danger. The earthly scent of myrrh washes over me and I stop in my tracks. He will return, uninvited. Who? And what? Why has he got a broken jaw? Oh my Lord, that looks so wrong. He will offer you a gift when you need it most. Turn it away, or you will fall into his hand. Just like the rest of us. Okay. I blink, trying to process what I just heard. There's shuffling behind me, the dragging of red cloth and chain. And then silence. I look up and down the foggy alley. I left the shop, and then, wasn't someone else here just now? I shake off the fading thought. I don't have time to dawdle. The Countess is expecting me. Exhaling deeply, I continue toward the narrow, mossy steps into the marketplace. It's early yet, and the marketplace is already wide awake. All around me are the sounds of bartering, laughter, vendors hawking their wares. A voice I know well calls out to me over the sea of noise. Bejeweled, have you eaten? I've got that pumpkin loaf you like in the oven and won't be long now. Come, sit down, talk for a while. I sniff the air, my stomach twists in hunger. Then again, I should be careful of time. I'm staying for a minute. The baker's sun-speckled face lights up with a broad smile. He leads me into the booth and a warm, spicy scent surrounds me. As I settle again He offers me a steaming tin cup. And where's Azra, sleeping in? I sip my hot minty drink. He's on a journey. Ah, and where's he off to this time? I shrug. The baker gives me an odd look. He didn't tell you? I look down into my cup, watching steam curl and twist as it rises. He was acting strange. The baker sighs, folding his arms over his chest. So he's off on some mysterious journey. That's nothing new. But what of your mysterious journey, if I'm asked? Shaken from my revere, I blink up at him, startled. There's been whispers all morning, you know. They say the Countess's escort rode into the neighborhood round dawn. He gives me a meaningful look, clearly fishing for gossip. But I smile and shake my head, downing my drink. How's that bread coming along? Mysterious as ever, you and Azra both. The baker goes to the small wood stove to check. There, all wrapped up for the road. I place the coin on the table and hand off my empty cup. Now run along. Don't keep the Countess waiting. I gave a backwards wave and head back out into the flow of traffic. As I climb the well-worn steps, something catches my eye. A fortune teller's booth tucked away in a shady corner. How nostalgic. Azra once operated out of a place just like it. As I am lost in my musings, Patriot emerges from the booth. Lucky numbers, check. Groceries. I didn't notice them back in Unity until we crashed into each other. Hey! The impact makes me stumble, teetering on the edge of a step. It also upsets the basket balanced on the stranger's hip, which sends a dozen pomegranates rolling down the stairs. Not the pomegranates! Oh, perfect, as if it wasn't already late. Help. I start groaning. I drop into a crouch beside the stranger to help. I spot a pomegranate as it's about to be stomped under a stray hoof and swipe it at the last second. When I hand it back to the stranger, their eyes sparkle with delight. Oh, thank you. How sweet of you to help. And after I bumped into it in the first place, together we hunt down the rest of the pomegranates. They're a little bruised, but no worse. Well, I can't thank you enough. They offer me a hand. The skin of their small palm is rough against mine, calloused. Probably shouldn't do this, but rubbing it off on her sleeve, they offer me a fruit from the basket. When I accept it, the stranger gives me a smile and warms my chest. Take care, alright? I'll see you around. The stranger's eyes wide when they take a closer look at me. Wait, I know you. I'm at a loss. I have no idea who they are. You're Bejeweled the Magician. Countess Nadia said we were expecting you. You can call me Portia. I'm the lady's head servant. Oh, all the pieces click together. The pomegranates were for the palace. And Portia's name rings a bell. I think I've heard of her through gossip in the market. Well, how lucky were we? Come on, I'll show you the quickest path to the palace. As the sun journeys across the sky, Portia and I climb stair after seemingly infinite stair. The higher we ascend, the fewer travelers we encounter along the way. By the time we reach the top, I can barely walk. Though Portia seems as energetic as ever, she pauses to let me catch my breath. Bejeweled, I'm glad you're here. The Countess could use good help, and you look like a good sort to me. When we reach the palace, it's near dark. Before me is a towering gate of twisted iron. Beyond that, the palace rises in a swirl of glittering spires. 2 guards stand on either side the gate, their eyes glint at me from behind their helmets. But they lower their weapons when they see Portia. Oh god. Ludovico. I'm sorry. I'm butchering these names. This is Bejeweled. She'll be staying as our guest. Bejeweled, meet the guards. The guards nod at me, their stiff posture relaxing. In unison, they push open the heavy iron gate. After you, Bejeweled. The gate slams shut behind me, and there is no turning back. Portia leads me across a long, steep bridge. Some kind of eel twists through swirling waters below, glowing like a bloodless ghost. Portia tugs on my arm, leading me away from the edge of the bridge. Come on, we don't want to keep Milady waiting. As we approach the intricate doors, anxiety starts to rise like bubbles coming to a boil within me. Is this wise? What awaits me in this fortress so far from home? Too soon, we are standing before the doors. Here we are. She swings her fist against the copper plating, 3 skull-rattling strikes. As the last echoes fade, the pendulous doors swing inward. The Empress. Inside the palace, the floors, walls, and steep ceilings are all clean-cut, polished stone. A servant with blue-feathered cap comes sweeping up to us. With a deep bow, they pass me and dash to Portia's side. Chamberlain, how are we doing on time? Terribly late. The 5th course is over. Her ladyship is in a most unhappy state. Portia chews her lip and hands the servant her fruit basket. Have the summoner fetch a bottle of the gold for... Have the summoner fetch a bottle of the golden goose. The servant departs at a hasty clip, disappearing behind a panel on the wall, which slides seamlessly shut. Too bad. I'll escort you directly to the dining room. Dining room? Was I to dine with the Countess? What? Don't tell me you thought we wouldn't feed you. I hasten to keep up with her purposeful strides. Soon we are standing before a fine mahogany door. Portia opens the door, leading me inside. Rich scents linger in the air, unfamiliar and tantalizing. Ah, Bejeweled, welcome to the palace. Have a seat. You're too late for dinner, I'm afraid. She brings her glass to her lips and drinks deeply. Portia leads me to a seat. Another servant removes what might have been my plate. I was beginning to think you had forgotten my invitation. But perhaps you are simply unaccustomed to travel? You look exhausted. Why, I can see your cheeks gleaming from here. The Countess downs her glass and Portia appears at her side with a bottle enrobed in shimmering foil. Ah, Portia, how thoughtful of you. My pleasure, milady. Portia fills both of our glasses and the Countess takes a sip of hers. A golden goose? A marvelous choice, Portia. I reach for my own glass to cover the awkward moment and stop, transfixed by the strange painting before me. The scene is that of a meal shared among a host of figures with the head of beasts. The table is laden with small animals provided by a central character with the head of a goat. Rays of gold glitter around its head, and its red eyes are strikingly lifelike. Do you like it, Bejeweled? The painting? Poor little bunny, I'm going to see. The Countess sets down her glass, watching me with an unfathomable expression. Oh god, I pissed her off. No? My husband treasured that piece. It was one of his favorites, though I suppose his tastes were rather strange. Nadia's husband, Count Lucio, rather the late Count Lucio, or whatever. He's the goat in the middle, of course, ever the provider. Lucia the populace eating out of the palm of his hand, much like the painting, I suppose. Whatever he offered, the people gobbled it up. They worshipped him. My husband was particularly loved for his yearly masquerade. She sets down her glass, folding her hands and resting her chin upon them. Did you ever attend, Bejeweled? The whole city came alive for the masquerade. Revelry took hold of hearts young and old. All in celebration of Lucio's birthday. What a celebration when they opened the palace gates to all. Excuse me. The Countess sighs, watching the wind swirl in her glass. The wine, sorry. Such a fond memory for many, and now it is shrouded in sorrow. A terrible shock to the guests. To find their host murdered so violently at the last masquerade. Wait, what? Okay. The servants lower their eyes. I too avert my gaze back to the painting. My poor husband, burned alive in his own bed. What the heck? And at the celebration of his birthday, what did he do to invite such hatred? After such a shocking scene, guests at the palace have been scarce. I look away from the portrait just... look away from the portrait just in time to meet the Countess's keen gaze. But now that you are here, now that I'm here, she says it with such gravity, such confidence. Countess, what does any of this have to do with me? I was thinking the same thing. Bejeweled, the masquerade is precisely why I called you here. But why? This year, I intend to hold the masquerade once more. I stare at her. So does every servant in the room. How? Why? The festivities in Lucio's honor will be more fantastical than ever. There is but one loose end in need of tying. Count Lucio's myrrh still roams free to this day. Dr. Julian Dvorak, my husband's former physician. I sit very still, suddenly cold all over. Dr. Julian. Now I remember the name on the wanted posters. Now I know exactly who broke into my shop. He confessed to the crime when we caught him. All that is left is his sentence. Execution by hanging. There's a terrible crash. Portia's face is stricken with horror. At her feet, the broken remains of the golden goose are seeping onto the floor. Portia? Forgive me, my lady. Slippery hands. You are forgiven. Two servants rush to her aid, sweeping away the shattered mess with wind-sprint speed. This is where you come in, Bejeweled. Julian has been very elusive, but you have quite the reputation. Rumor has it that you have surpassed even your master, Asura. I myself see the future in dreams, whether I like it or not. And this is how I know that you are the one who will find Julian. And if I say no? The Countess sits down her glass, briefly pressing her fingers to her temples. Then I will ask you to reconsider. Perhaps you misunderstand me. I do not relish executing the doctor, but justice must be served. Not only for the Count, but for the city, and so, to commence the festivities. The doctor must die on the gallows for his terrible crime. The Countess rises. On instinct, I rise as well. Portia. Portia? Yes, milady. Show Bejeweled to the guest quarters. Right away, milady. Portia pulls me to my feet, and with a humble bow whisks me to the door. Portia is quiet as she ushers me down the hall toward my room. After a few turns, we pass a wide staircase, veiled in shadow. A draft pushes down from the floor above, prickling my skin. It's cold, and it smells of ash. Curled up on the bottom steps are two large, lanky dogs. Fathomless eyes fix upon me, and they rise slowly without a sound. Though they look as though they could strike at any moment, I sense no ill intent. I hold out my hand, and they approach to sniff it. Their huffing breaths tickle my skin, and their tails start slowly wagging. Well, this is bizarre. They never take kindly to strangers. Yeah, that's because it's me, and I love dogs. It's just how they were trained, but I've never seen them act like this. Slime sounds. Slim snouts brush up against my sides as the dogs investigate me further. Satisfied, they draw back, looking at me expectantly. Pet them. On a whim, I reach out to run my hand over the smaller one's silky coat. I wouldn't do that if I were you. The dog rears back from my hand or from Portia's panicked tone, I'm not sure. Sorry, they're a little unpredictable. They seem to like you, but I'd rather you keep that hand. The hounds trot dutifully back to their spot. They nearly blend into the marble. Oh, no wonder they're like this. They haven't had their chamomile cakes. She looks nervously from me to the two dogs, still as statues. Wait here, Bejeweled, and it's probably best to keep your distance from them. I'll be right back with those cakes. Portia swoops through a sliding panel on the wall. I'm left alone in the hallway with the dogs. I feel the bigger one sniff my side insistently. When I look down, it simply pulls back and stares. Then the smaller one is sniffing my other side, huffing samples of my sweat. I swirl around, and it sits back on its haunches, watching me innocently. Cheeky. As I look into its one sagging eye, an unsettling sensation ripples through a body like a wave of fever. A guest? I step back, gaze darting up and down the corridor. The voice was coming from the top of the stairs. I can only see so far into the hollow gloom, but there's no one there. I nearly jump when I feel yanking at my garments. The dogs, their teeth are buried into my clothes, unrelenting as they dragged me into the stairs. I tripped over the first few steps and their tails start wagging. Hey! I tried to wrench myself free, but the two dogs tugged stubbornly. The dogs only let me go at the top of the stairs. The floor and walls are frigid stone, and the air smells of ash. My head is spinning, and I hardly feel a chill in the air. Though my heart is hammering, I summon a weak glimmer of light in my palm. I look around for the dogs, but they're nowhere to be seen. There's a door ahead, partway open. Inside is deeper darkness, swallowing the feeble rays of light. I feel like there's going to be more choices like this, and I wonder... That's right. The magic in my palm shrinks to a fluttering glow when I step through the doorway. Coming from the hall at Swan inside, the thick air has a strong, peppery taste. A heavily canopied bed stretches midway across the room. I pass an extravagant suit of armor, a marble writing desk with a white peacock feather pen, all blanketed in ash. My light flickers over a portrait on the wall, twice my height. My dim light stretches up the canvas. Dim light? Okay. Though it's hard to see, I have no doubt of the painting's subject. Count Lucio. He looks younger than I expected, or the portrait is old. Or perhaps the artist was catering to his vanity. The red of his coat is the cardinal hue from the painting in the dining room. The golden arm, a marvel of alchemical art. The fur hanging from his haughty shoulders looked impossibly fine. Then, go on, touch it. What? A of thick, scorching air pushes my hand toward the portrait. But I feel nothing but ash and canvas. They are snickering inside my head as a haze settles over my mind. Nothing like the real thing, saying, unable to feel. Such sweet torture. What? Warmth like an ember radiates at the back of my neck. The magic in my palm reacts, its glow stretching past my fingers and down my wrist. Ah. The strange sensations subside and the voice grows fainter, even wistful. There, in your energy. Oh, it's him. Could you be? The haze vanishes from my mind. I reel back from the portrait. Something softens the back of my knees and I fall through folds of dusty velvet into the massive bed. Great plumes of ash billow around me when my back hits the bed covers. This is Count Lucio's bed, right where he was murdered, incinerated. Then this fine ash in my eyes, in my nose, in my mouth, and all over me is what's left of him. I clasp a hand over my mouth, smothering a scream as I struggle to stand. Going so soon? You're no fun. That voice, it echoes from every corner of the room, and from within my mind. What do you want? The laughter takes a higher pitch, and I feel heat sweeping past my ears, gathering behind me. What do I want? The last words end on a snarl. I freeze, and I have the sensation of something reaching for my back. Then it pulls away, the temperature drops abruptly, and my hurried breaths turn to fine mists. I dare not look, but I hear something moving towards the portrait. Chains of gold, but no neck. Beautiful, beautiful furs, but no back. No perfect face to smother with kisses, so I want nothing. The voice trails off. The room feels normal once again. I scramble to my feet and make a break for the door. Breaking into a run, I continue down the hall, searching for the vague darkness for any way out. The portraits on the walls watch me run with cold, aristocratic stares. Come back, come back. Against all good sense, I stop and turn around. I only see it for a moment, a silhouette, stark against a wall of high windows frosted with smoke. Claws, horns, and hooves like onyx. The white face of a goat with red eyes fixed gleefully on me. I blink, and it's gone. I hear clambering off to the side the creak of a door, and then silence. By the time I stumble down the stairs disoriented, poor Tia is looking around corners for me. There you are! She stares at the fine powdery ash coating me from head to toe. What are you covered in ash? did those naughty dogs do to you? She produces a plain white handkerchief and hands it to me. All I can muster is a dazed-off nod of thanks as I dust myself off. My mind feels fogged, struggling to make sense of the shadows I saw, the whispers I heard. Portia takes me gently by the elbow, helping me brush off the last of the ash. You know, I'm just going to leave these cakes right here. Let's get you to bed. I follow up Portia's heels until we arrive at our destination. Thankfully, it isn't much further. She swings open the door with a sweeping gesture. These will be your quarters, Bejeweled. You can put your things wherever you like. Breakfast is at sunrise. I'll wake you. My fatigue must be showing. I let my bag fall to the floor. Eyeing the smooth linens, I shudder with exhaustion. You look ready to drop. I'll leave you be. Sleep well, Bejeweled. Her soft voice trails off and she gently slides the door shut. At once, I burrow into the luxurious sheets. It feels as though I'm weightless. Heart thumping to the rhythm of Portia's steady, ever-distant footfalls, I sink into unconsciousness. How long is this prologue? I'm back on the black stone path, whipped by wind and rust-colored sand. The thick, dark clouds hanging overhead are heavier than before. But if I'm dreaming again, where is Azra? The unforgiving wind burns my eyes as I search the desolate landscape. Up ahead, too far to reach, Azra still with the lumbering beast. They stopped at a fork in the road. One way goes east, the other west. Azra dismounts the creature, placing a hand on its hide. It turns down the path to the east. Azra walks west, and I know at once he is going the wrong way. Not that way! Not again! Again? His head turns. Even from the uncrossable distance, I feel our eyes meet. Bejeweled? His voice is just a longing whisper on the wind. He drops his gaze and continues down the westward path, fading from my sight. I'm calling after him even as my dream is swallowed by sand. Sunlight tickles my face. I open my eyes with a groan. Morning, Bejeweled! Portia sets out a tray of breakfast pastries while I slowly sit up. What a lovely sunrise. Did you sleep well? The Countess wants you to meet her in the library once you've eaten and dressed. Portia sets a neat pile of elegant clothing on the bed beside me. I unfold the top piece, marveling at the way the fabric moves. We took your old clothes to be laundered. The lady asked me to provide these for you. I'll be waiting in the hall whenever you're ready. Sorry, I have to go for a second. Portia ducks out the door. I move the silky garments aside and toss back my bed covers. I eat quickly, not wanting to keep the Countess waiting. The pastries are still warm and flaky, each more delicate and whimsical than the last. Then I disrobe and pull on my new outfit, fumbling with its claps and buttons. Oh, don't you look nice? The Countess is a real eye for fashion. She's definitely gonna be pleased. Portia stops before a panel on the wall, 3 times my height. It's crafted of smooth wood in all the colors of rippling honey, carved with dizzying intricacies, a great tree in the height of maturity. Excuse me. Its leaves and fruit are inlaid with jewels, precious stones, and mothers of pearl. It's Milady's own work. Beautiful, isn't it? Portia receives a ring of keys from her pocket. There are about a dozen, each carved in the same wood as the panel, and each bearing a distinct jewel. One by one she finds their locks in the panel. With each key, the roots of the tree start to unwind from each other, pulling free from the floor. When all the locks have been turned, the panel folds upon itself on either side like a paper fan. There are books everywhere, books winding up the walls, reaching for the ceiling. The Countess is waiting for us, seated in the reclining chair. Her eyes glitter with approval when she sees me. Bejeweled, you look positively radiant. She gestures to the towering shelves all around us. Do you read? I nod. The Countess tempers her surprise. Ah, Somehow I suspected that you might. It is a great gift to read. Where I come from, it's shared amongst all citizens, but woefully uncommon here. This way, if you please. She leads me deeper into the shelves. Portia follows with a jingling ring of keys. I can't stop staring at all the books. My fingers itch to run along their spines, but I resist. Bejeweled, you are my guest. If you should like to return here, you need only ask, but just for the moment. The Countess stops before Niclove, nestled between the shelves. I would have your undivided attention here. A desk stands in a slim ray of daylight, casting from a tiny window. Books, journals, papers, and scrolls cover every inch of the desk. Despite the clutter, everything is carefully organized. Someone's placed a study preserved in time. This is Dr. Julian's desk. He was employed at the palace, as was your master Azra. We called upon them to concoct a cure for the plague. My blood runs cold. The Red Plague, as it was called, swept through the city like wildfire. A Red Plague? It claimed young and old, frail and strong. There was no way to tell who would succumb. Cases are rare now. I can't remember the last time I saw the telltale red in the whites of someone's eyes. Physicians, scientists, alchemists, fortune-tellers, magicians, all were invited in hopes that our resources may aid in their research. Perhaps he was plotting even then, but the doctor accepted our invitation. As did your master Azra. Her gaze shifts to the window. It overlooks a large willow tree which hangs over the fountain in the garden below. I have heard the desk and its contents examined laboriously. Nothing of consequences have been found, but perhaps you will make better use of it. It is the best lead I can offer. She draws away, passing me and perfuming the air with jasmine. The search for Dr. Julian is now in your hands. You may proceed as you see fit. I ask only that you meet me for dinner this evening. She smiles serenely and sweeps out of the room. Portia follows in her wake. I am left alone with the doctor's desk. There is a stack of books, a leather-bound folio, and scrolls tucked away in a little row of drawers. I unfurl one of the scrolls. The paper is soft, almost powdery to the touch. It is written in a hurried, fluid scrawl that is nearly impossible to read. At the bottom of the page, isolated from the dense worth of cursive, is a single letter, J. I narrow my eyes at the scribbles of the page, trying to make sense of them. Dear sister? Yes, I think it's addressed dear sister. I rub my fingers over the words and my heart skips a beat. I feel a sharp jolt of longing and old regret. Suddenly I realize I'm sensing that the doctor was feeling when he wrote the letter. I'm sorry, I'm having such a hard time talking. I quickly rewind the scroll and tuck it in my bag. This fragile piece of paper, it's something the doctor cared about, something with a connection to him. A surge of excitement and apprehension run through me. I can use this. With the scroll of my magic to assist me, I might be able to find him. I glance out the window at the sky. It's a bit past noon. If I'm quick, I should be back in time for dinner with the Countess. The sun starts dipping in the sky as I make my way into the city. My breath grows short as tremors of anxiety radiate from my gut, spreading to my fingertips. I haven't done magic like this on my own. I've always had Azra with me before. Azra, memories of his familiar voice soothe my mind. Start with your breath, follow with your heart, and be present. Finding the calm I need, I gather up my magic, holding the scroll in both hands. A tingling sensation grows at the base of my neck. I follow the feelings away from the palace, through the city streets. I end up in a narrow, slippery street at the south end of Vesuvia. Its shabby stones are layered like scales. Clustered apartments line the passage, and murky reddish water swirls in the sluggish canal. Suddenly, a door in front of me swings open, casting warm light down the 3 jagged stone steps. Oh, I'll be back, just stepping out from some air. I freeze mid-step, my heart leaping into my throat. My spell worked, but I hadn't thought about what I'd do when I found it. I try to back away quietly, but something catches my heel, toppling me into an empty barrel. staring at the sky. Limbs flailing uselessly as quick footsteps approach. Hello, that was quite a tumble. Are you alright? The doctor leans over the barrel, extending his hand. He rears back when he sees my face. The shopkeep? What are you doing here? Come on, upsy daisy. A firm grip encircles each of my wrists, and I'm hauled out of the barrel like a snail shucked from its shell. I stagger forward into the doctor's broad, gleaming chest. For a moment, his eyes meet mine in surprise at our sudden proximity. Then, with a friendly pat to my arms, he releases me. I take a good look at my surroundings for the first time. We're behind a tavern, well hidden from the street. Painted on the door is a cackling blackbird laying back on a crescent moon. The rowdy raven, it reads. Dare I ask what brings you to this neck of the woods? I opened my mouth, but no words came out. How do I even begin to explain? The doctor gives me a knowing look and casts a glance to the open door. Its warm light glows between us. He turns to me with a glint in his eye. Rumor has it that you're working for the palace. I'm sure, well by now, you've heard some of the interesting stories about me. I nod. That much is true, if a gross understatement. But you haven't heard my side of the tale, have you? That's true, too. All my knowledge is from the Countess's account, the ones in posters and the muddled rumors. Besides, I do still owe you for the reading. Are you thirsty? My treat. I am thirsty. His face splits into a brilliant grin. Oh, fantastic. Please, allow me. He beckons me up the steps of the door, easing it open and leading me through to the warmth inside. It's not even sundown, but the tavern is in full swing. The noises. The barkeep, wide, scar-faced and barrel-armed, gives the doctor a cheeky salute when we pass by. A cackling drunkard swings out a wooden leg, which Dr. Julian politely pushes aside. Tutting, my escort guides me to a cozy booth in the back. You make yourself comfortable. I'll be right back. He breezes past me towards the bar. I try to sit still as I look around. Nearby, a pair of old crones are hunched over a card game. Attended by a squabbling crowd. Up at the bar, the doctor chats with the barkeep. They both erupt into peals of laughter at some joke. He looks perfectly at ease, so different from when I'm at the shop. He turns, making his way back with our drinks. He sits mine before me. He slides into the booth across from me, gulping down his drink with guts out. I peer into the golden liquid in my cup. It smells faintly like fruit. I take a sip. It's refreshing, barely sweet, bit sour. You know, I never did get your name. Fingers interlocking on the table between us, he gives me a look of encouragement. Bejeweled. Ah, Bejeweled. What a lovely name. Musical name. Bejeweled. He offers me his hand, and though I hesitate to place mine in his leathery grip, I manage. His smile broadens to a toothy grin. I clear my throat, looking him dead in the eye. You said you'd tell me your side of the story. Oh, I did, didn't I? How careless of me. He laughs at my incredulous expression. Then he leans back in the booth, long loops going every which way. Alright, ask anything you like. Wordlessly, I reach into my bag and hand him the scroll from the library. Once he starts reading, the smile fades from his face. He leans over the page, frowning in concentration. Where did you find this? It was on your desk, in the palace library. He looks away, but not before I see a flinch of pain across his face. Well, it's a letter, but you knew that. Dear so-and-so. Your sister. His eyes flick up to me, mortified. You can read this? Not really, but he doesn't need to know that. I shrug noncommentally. Dear sister, I have much to share since last I wrote. Winter has come to the palace. These marble floors are so cold each morning. The more he reads, the more he pauses to massage his temples or to pinch the bridge of his nose. By the time he's finished, he looks wistful, drained. He rolls up the letter and hands it back to me. Absent-mindedly, he reaches for his stain, tossing the rest of the drink down his throat. You have a sister. A wet cough, spluttering, and he sets down the empty drink. I do. Haven't seen her since she was, this high. His fingers flutter just above the lip of the table. Excuse me. Whisking the empty steins away, Julian heads back to the bar. Shrill bickering erupts from the card-playing Chrome's table. Julian whispers to one of the Chromes as he passes by and taps a single card in her hand. The card is played, throwing the crowd to chaos. Julian ducks away just as someone douses another drink. He's still wiping it off, chuckling when he returns to a seat. You would think I'd know better than to get involved. I raise an eyebrow. He's not wearing a mask here, and everyone seems to know him. You're not worried about being seen? Here? No, I'm not too worried. Folks around here aren't known to oblige the wants and wishes of the palace. Even the Raven spends his time scouting for guards, obsessively. Julian scans the smoky rafters while I process what he told me. It's a little surprising. Where Asher and I live, the guards are treated with reservance, fear, and no small measure. Suddenly, the Raven bursts in through a dusty window overhead, flying in loops with a guttural shriek. The bird beats himself against the string of bells, and the tavern erupts into chaos. Guards! Palace guards! Patrons claw their way out every door and window, playing cards tossed and fluttering in the air. Julian scoops me bodily from my seat and rushes me out the back door into the alley. It's getting cold, and the sun's almost set completely. The doctor casts a frantic glance up and down the alley before crowding me into the shadows. You'll be able to find your way, yes? The guards aren't after you. I nod. He clasps my upper arms and looks deep into my eyes. Clasps my upper arms and looks deep into my eyes. Thanks for not... Well, thanks, Bejewel. Excuse me. Excuse me. He turns and vanishes, leaving me all alone in the silent, shuttered alley. Now what to do? I thought Julie might give me answers, but all I have are more swirling questions. Hey, you there! I whirl around as two armed guards appear at the alley entrance. They march toward me, but when they're close enough to see my face, they stop. Oh, the Countess's magician. The guard gives me a short, sharp bow. Ahem. I'm Lydia of... I don't know how to pronounce this name. We met yesterday at the gates. I nod, trying to summon up some confidence. Yes, I'm supposed to dine with the Countess again tonight, but it's getting late. I'm just gonna call him Ludo. Briskly weighs off my unasked question. We'll hail you a carriage back. Don't want to keep the Countess waiting. He leads me back to the broader street, hails the gilded carriage, and closes the door behind me. The palace looms over the carriage as it approaches, a white monolith against the twinkling night sky. Portia is waiting for me at the gates, ready to help me out of the carriage. She's unusually quiet, not at all her usual cheerful self. I keep silent as well, occupied by tangled thoughts of my own. The grand doors swing open as we arrive to reveal an extravagant meal piled high upon the long table. Everything is richly seasoned with rare spices. I can recognize the scent of saffron wafting towards me. You're right on timing, Joel. I hope your day was fruitful. A servant seats me and fills my glass with a pale rose beverage. Wait, it just hit me. Is Portia his sister? The delicate floral aroma reminds me of the Countess's perfume. First, let us attend to some small matters. My courtiers are most eager to meet you. I shall introduce you to them tomorrow afternoon. They will want to know everything about you, but choose wisely what you wish to tell. I will be informing them of the masquerade as well. I imagine they will be ecstatic. I nod as slowly as I chew my food. The ways of the court are foreign to me, but I can trust, at the very least, that the Countess won't allow me to be an embarrassment. And tomorrow at noon, Portia will lead a retinue into the town square to announce the masquerade. Once the townspeople hear, word will spread on its own, and then it shall be out of our hands. I imagine the crowds will be eager to see Count Lucio's murder reign. tomorrow's matters. Tonight, Bejeweled, I have questions. Questions? I brace myself for the inevitable queries about where I went, what I've been doing. Yes, I wish to become familiar with you. Her words catch me off guard. I didn't expect her to have any interest in who I was. Let us be strangers no longer. May tonight be the beginning of a valuable friendship. She starts with simple questions. How I enjoy the town, my daily goings-on, my favorite things to eat. I ask her questions in turn and learn that her favorite food is spiced swordfish. Per Accra, spiced swordfish is a summer dish. I would hardly suffer a warm night without it. Per Accra, a vast land in the north, the Countess's home, though I had thought it was only rumor. The kitchen does try to humor my request, but alas, I can never seem to spice it quite right. Do you ever miss living there? The Countess looks thoughtfully down into her glass, elegant fingers curl delicately around its stem. Perhaps. I don't think I would ever return to there, but there are things I miss about my home. Often when I was feeling morose, I would take a walk down to the white beaches because of my homeland. Observing the opalescent waves crash over the sands would soothe my worried soul. The bittersweet expression on her face as she speaks of her homeland makes her look years younger. I noticed that the servants are listening as they were, watching the Countess and I with wondering eyes. Well, if we are to reminisce, perhaps we should do somewhere more private. Would you care to join me on the veranda for a nightcap? She looks down at me, a soft smile tugging at her lips. Just the two of us. Then she held her hand out towards me, waiting expectantly. No, thank you. No, thank you. Are you tired? Or perhaps shy? It's quite all right, Bejeweled. I understand completely. I do hope you will have a pleasant evening. Portia, please show our guest back to her room. Nadia exits the dining room, the scent of jasmine lingering in the air for a moment before fading as well. Portia appeared at my elbow, smiling warmly. I nod gratefully and get to my feet, following Portia out. Our footsteps echo into the empty halls. Portia walks cheerfully beside me. Here, I'll show you to a shortcut back to your room. Just in case Mercedes and Melchior are sulking around again. She leads me down a narrow, dusty hallway. Her fingers find the edge of a moth-eaten tapestry. With a dramatic flourish, she reveals a secret passage on the other side. She throws a smile and a wink my way, gesturing for me to step in. You know this was here? Their soft laugh echoes down the gloomy hallway and her eyes glitter with mischief. It's my job to know everything around here, including little tricks like this. It's dim on the other side, the floor uneven beneath my feet. I have no idea where I am, but Portia seems to know exactly where she's going. You know, things have gotten a lot more interesting around here since you showed up, and all the rumors floating around. My goodness, you'd think we had nothing to do but chat. Do you hear a lot of rumors? Why? Something you want to tell me? An accident. No Wi-Fi. Just between you and me, I think Count Lucio has a lot of enemies too. I wasn't working here when it happened. I've only heard rumors of what went on all that night. Just keep your eyes peeled for anything strange, okay? Then she smiles, the worry clearing from her face. She leans in close to me, voice low. You know, if you're not too tired yet, I could show you around the palace. There's a lot more interesting things on the grounds. Maybe I could show you some more secrets, if you think you can handle them. Is she teasing me? She gives me another wink and tilts her head, waiting for an answer. I'm tired. I get it. You had a long day and a lot on your mind. Get some rest. Tomorrow the lady wants you to join us in town to announce the masquerade. I'll be back at dawn. Don't sleep in. With that, she's gone, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Alright, so I'm going to stop here and internet's acting up anyway, so now's a good time to stop.